Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at day 96 of the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you all so much for being with me on this journey. Our tangle today is going to be HOKUSAI. It is by Sayomi Koike, excuse me, CZT in Japan, and it is a very simple, but really cool way to make borders and ribbons and such. So let's take a look at this. This is rather like a walk the line tangle that we did back several weeks ago, maybe a month back. And you do this based on a line, and that line can be curved, straight, whatever you want it to be. And what you're going to do is above that line, we are going to make some C shapes, some letter C shapes, and they're going to be open and pointed in different directions. I find that I get the easiest result if I make them long side to long side and short side to short side, if that makes any sense. And once we finish that, we're going to connect each one of these with the one next to it with a little V-shaped. And it works best if you put a little curve in it. But of course, you may do as you wish. And what we get is this really cool sort of flamey looking border, which can really literally fit into any situation, which is cool. You can use it on string lines or whatever. And so the reason I was attracted to this, of course, had something to do with gems. And it was drawn in the round in the oval in this situation for Linda Farmer's example. And so, of course, that attracted me. And then I loved the sort of wild, organic look that it gives your borders. And I've seen something similar to this that's a little bit more standard, but I'm really attracted to the organic quality of this. Big surprise. So in the round or in the oval, you do the exact same thing. Fill it with C shapes, open C shapes. Put them however you want, and they don't have to be long side to long side and short side to short side. You can do them however you like. But I love the different configurations you get, the sort of, well, again, I'll use the word wild and organic, and that just describes the look you get with this perfectly. So you can then, once you've drawn it in, you can aura your line. You can aura the outside of the design, which also gives it a different look. The more I drew this, the more I really enjoyed the possibilities. And so when I get to my tile, you'll see we're going to work on black today. And so you'll see that very simple, but I managed to get a very cool result. So I also did a Zia with the same design, and I'll have that uploaded for you guys who are members. I will also be making another membership intro video because of the issue that so many of us have had because we're on an iOS device. Okay, so this is Hokusai. And moving on to my black tile before I get in trouble, I'm going to use my white charcoal pencil instead of my regular pencil, and I'm going to draw my border and any string lines that I decide to make with that. And I'm using a Zentangle Apprentice tile, which has a very smooth surface, and so the white charcoal pencil really likes that. And I'm going for some dynamic lines here because it is my intention to fill those lines on one side or the other with this tangle. And I think we're going to get something very cool. So we're going to find out one way or another. And I may redraw that line a little bit. We'll see. Okay, now I'm going to grab my Jelly Roll 10. And for drawing on black, I really, really highly recommend this. It does not skip, not generally speaking anyway. I'm not going to make a life or death promise to you. Make sure you've got the tip wiped off good. I use my fingers for that, so don't be surprised to see that. Just be careful. They might think you're crazy at the drugstore when you go, or worse, at the liquor store. Just kidding. We don't drink, do we, guys? If we don't, maybe we should start. Wouldn't it be great if alcohol were the cure for COVID? No, that would probably be a bad thing. Okay, I'm just kidding about that. I'm not much of a drinker, although when I lived in Germany, I sure did enjoy my Weizenbier. I liked the Kristall. That was awesome in the summer. That nice lemon on there. Yeah, good stuff. I liked the Hefeweizen. Mit Zitrone. Da habt euch auch Deutsch gehabt heute. Und jetzt werde ich wieder auf Englisch. Ich will nicht die englisch sprechende Leute zu verlieren. So, here we go in English again. I told my German followers that I didn't want to lose you guys that only speak English, so of course I don't want to lose the ones that speak other languages either. All right, I am getting bumped and prodded and poked by the kid and the dog. It really is a joy to draw on these black tiles with this Jelly Roll pen. If you are new to Jelly Rolls, this is the one I recommend you start with. It is the least frustrating of all of them. And a lot of people like the Uniball Signos. I have those, or at least I used to have them as well. I don't know. I would have to see if they had something comparable to the 10. I used to try their broad point, which was the 08 size, I think. And I still had the skipping. Of course, you get that with the 08s from Sakura as well. So right now, I am starting with my loop, and I'm filling this in with these sort of open C shapes, and I am just arranging these in whatever way I want. You can get a more uniform look if you keep them more standardized, meaning that you make them all basically the same shape and size and set them up the same way. But I, of course, being me, I really like the wild and crazy. So I go out of my way to turn them different directions and to make things a little bit interesting. And of course, you are welcome to do this however you like, whatever makes you comfortable. And that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to be comfortable while you do these. I want you to enjoy them. And I have really enjoyed the tile creation portion of these for this project. What I don't enjoy is the video editing. And so maybe someday I'll earn enough to be able to hire that out. But for now, I've still got to deal with it. And again, it's not that I mind, I mind the lack of sleep. It makes me cranky, as my poor baby can attest. He wanted to read Harry Potter tonight, and I begged him not to make me because I have a bad headache, and I just needed to get this voiceover done, and I want to go to bed. I definitely think I'm reaching critical mass, so we'll see. I've only got a couple more days to get through, and then we will change gears, and hopefully I can build in a day off here and there. I'll try not to make that too big a habit. I don't want to lose you guys. I have got some really wonderful momentum going with you all, and I definitely don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose you as a group of viewers. You have come to mean much to me. For those who don't know, I am entirely disabled. I have spinal issues, and it makes it impossible for me to sit up like at a desk or something like that and draw for any length of time, anything more than 5 or 10 minutes maybe. And of course, that precludes these videos from that. And I realized early on in my 100-day project last year that I needed the comfort of the way that I normally draw in order to really put my mind and heart into what I was doing on film. So that is what I decided to do, and I was encouraged by you guys to go ahead and do what worked best for me. But I wanted to mention this because I get the occasional comment complaining about this situation right now where I am not in frame, and it's frustrating for me to have this happen. But you need to understand that since I am using my bed basically as the studio, and I have the tripod set up so that it leans against the bed so that it reaches far enough across my lap so that it can keep the drawing easel in frame. And so it's logistically difficult. And anytime Simba comes up and rubs against the bed, or Mari comes and flops down, face down, the way he is wont to do, it makes the whole apparatus shake back and forth. And that can be really problematic. I also, since I can't leave the rig standing in the right position and have to take it down all the time because of where it sits, that makes it really difficult for me to have a consistent setup. So I'm working on this logistically, and I hope you guys will understand that I do the best I can, and I know that I it's frustrating for you guys to not be always be able to see my strokes and to have these kinds of issues like you're looking at right now cropping up, and it's very frustrating, and I understand that. But I also need you to understand that I make these videos the best I can, and they don't always turn out very well. And I have to make a decision about whether I can spend another 12 hours filming it again, or if I'm just going to leave it and go to bed. And so, because I need to not be stressed out and not get sick, frequently I leave them the way they are because I just can't deal with anything else. And I will hope that I've done a good enough job drawing the pattern before situations like this, so that I don't lose you guys in the drawing portion. But I do understand that this is frustrating, and I do want you to know that I am aware of it, and I do my best, but I don't always get it right. And so I hope that I will continue to have your support and patience. You guys have been so kind and good to me that I really, whoops, that would be Simba. He has decided to bump against the bed. Sometimes he likes to get down at the end and see if he can scratch his bottom against it, against the baseboard. So, yeah, now you know all of my deep dark secrets. So I have decided, of course, you clearly see I got off on a tangent, and I have decided on the outside to go ahead and make a border along my border, if you will. I have turned this into a border tangle, and after I ran around my loop and across this other sort of ice cream cone shape, um, that now I'm going around the outside with the exact same technique. I'm doing exactly the same way for each area. One of the things that you can vary on this is how far apart you put your C's. You can also vary how high up you make them, how far basically from the line that you draw them. And that makes a difference in how it looks. So all of those things are things that you consider when you're doing your tile creation. All right, so eventually I'm going to lift that charcoal line out with my eraser, and yes, your eraser will work to lift out stray white charcoal. However, it's just like pencil lines. You know, if you get too much, then, you know, there's not a lot you can do. All right, I think that's everything. So next, I'm going to drag my white charcoal pencil back out, and I'm going to start in hopefully a corner that you can see. And I'm just going to add some white charcoal to the very tips of each of these edges, of each of these borders. Once again, these general pencils go on just beautifully, so soft and smooth. And once again, I am very terribly sorry about the camera angle on this tile. I can only apologize. I'm very sorry. Tonight I've chosen to go to bed. I know that doesn't help you. So here's my tortillon, and I'm just going to blend this out and see what effect I'm going to get. And of course, I've done tiles similar to this already once for the members section. And so I already know that this particular technique is going to work out fairly well. So I have just put the most intense bit of white charcoal up in the tips where the points are. And then I'm leaving the rest blank. And when I come in and shade this or blend it out with my tortillon or paper stump, then I'm going to leave the part next to the white line in the center alone and leave around that dark. And then towards the tips, then they'll have the most intense color there. This adds such a dynamic dimension to this piece. I really, really like the way that looks with the border. I'm going to wait and blend them all out at once I get all the charcoal in. All right, so moving along. I don't know how much of this part will be in frame. I guess we're going to find out. We had a big thunderstorm last night, and that has broken the heat wave that we were working on. And so hopefully, I'm sure that tomorrow it will be hot again, but today wasn't so bad. So I am thanking God for throwing me a bone today and making the weather not quite as hot. Got to have that grateful mindset. And again, what you're not seeing here is me just stroking the charcoal pencil into the tips of each one of these. Sigh for the camera angle. So you guys start leaving me some comments about what are the things that you have learned in this project, this 100-day project, that you feel like has benefited you the most? Which of these tangles that we did were your favorites? And what have you decided, if anything, to do with your finished tiles? I am very curious to know the answers to these questions. So if you have a moment to drop me a comment and tell me, that would be awesome. Let's not get any of that glare going. We're coming into the home stretch. That's a baseball phrase. We have a lot of colorful sports stuff that is in our language. I'm sure all languages have that. This is going to look awesome when I get it blended out. I think so anyway. Here we go. Just a little bit further. Let's blend this out, and we will be calling it a day. You can see from the iPad in the picture that that is the Zia creation portion. I'm sorry I left that there to distract the eye. It's truly not a ploy. I have tried to blend out that line that is there. I don't think it's going to let me do that though. Here. I really like how this turned out. The portion I can see, that is. And I'm just softening the bottom line just a tad with my paper stump. And there we have it. This is where I'm going to leave you guys today. I thank you for being with me, and I've got some good stuff coming up in the next few days while we finish up. And I hope that you have enjoyed this pattern as much as I have. And I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do with it on Instagram. So don't forget to tag me at the Tireless Tangler, and I'm going to see you tomorrow.